How are you using Gmail, or are you a Gmail user, or you're just thinking about it? Love to hear about it. The chat, let me just get the next slide and I'll come back to this. The chat looks like that, and you'll just be able to talk to just me or everybody. So just say hello, just so I know that you can hear me. And I will just also turn on my video for a second to say hello. Okay. Hello. How's everybody doing? So I'm so excited because this was very impromptu. I think I decided today's Friday, Wednesday afternoon, because I kept getting all these Gmail questions from inside a membership site that I have. And I thought, you know what? I think the public is also very confused about Gmail. And so I wanted to just go through a whole bunch of really cool things that maybe you don't know about Gmail. And hello, I'm in Kelowna too. Hello, I'm isolated in Kelowna. Hello, Melvine and Marty. Oh, hi, Melvine. How are you? Nice to see you. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. Marty, so this is really interesting, you guys. So I have a license. I pay for the Zoom software. I've got a license for 100 people inside a webinar, and 110 at last count registered. So it's first come, first serve. But usually people register for stuff and then they don't show up. So I'm hoping lots of people show up. I hope we get full capacity today. So I'm so excited. I'd love for you to say hello on the chat. And again, this is live streaming if it works on my Facebook private group for agents. We'll put the link up there. If you're not a member, if you want to replay it later, feel free to do so. I have a slide at the end just to remind myself to give you that link. So it's actually streamlinedagents.com. That'll direct to my Facebook group. So let me just see. Hi, Jennifer. Look at all you guys. Let me just make this bigger so I can I've got 2 monitors. And if you have never worked with 2 monitors, you can never go back. So I can do one thing on one monitor and have the other one. And now that we're at home working, if you don't have 2 monitors, you might want to consider it. Okay. Okay, so let me just go back. We got Toronto, Salmon Arm, Kelowna, Vancouver, 2 Kelowna people. Hi, Terry. Nice to see you, or see your name. Dee, nice. You can hear you, but my face is not up, which is okay. Yeah, this is the nice thing about Zoom, is that you don't have to put your video on. They've changed some settings in Zoom, so it's really interesting now. We have to go back and relearn it, because before I could control more stuff. And so you shouldn't be allowed to put your video on, but yeah, I saw someone did briefly. We'll turn you off if you put your video on. Later on in the Q&A, if you want to come up, no problems, okay? Boy, we have a lot of Kelowna people, that's awesome. I don't know where my American friends are, but let's get started. It is 2:01, and thank you for being here. So please ask in the chat if you have any specific questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of whip through what I commonly see issues with the Gmail platform, as well as some other tips and tricks I'll give you today. Does that sound good? So you guys have all found the chat, and you can ask private or public. And again, later on, if you think of something, go to the private Facebook group and ask under the video, and I'll monitor there as well. So good to go. I'm going to turn my video off so I'm not distracting you. The problem with Zoom, they have changed so many things. I can't find stuff anymore. Okay, here we go. We're good to go. All right, so let's get going. So first, if you don't know anything about me, I think, well, actually, some of the names are kind of new to me. So I'll just tell you a little bit about why I'm here helping agents. And so my name is Darci LaRocque. I have coached thousands of agents since 2010. I was on, just a little known fact about me, I was on TV for 3 seasons teaching tech tips. And like most people have never seen that show, but it was through Blink Media. And I've written articles for newspapers and magazines. I've been on radio shows all around technology. I've spoken at countless real estate conferences around North America. I also have won the prestigious Top 100 Women Changing the Shape of Real Estate by REP. And I have hundreds of success stories helping agents, maybe thousands. It really is something I love to do. Oh, we have an American. Look at you guys. Hey, Karen. I just looked at Cape Cod and I thought, oh, I know her. Hi, Karen. How are you doing? That's awesome. Eva's using 2 monitors. Oh, we got someone from New York. Nice. Hi, Jeffrey. That is awesome. I'm so excited. So again, I was saying 2 monitors. If when I had my video on, I look at the different monitor, 2 monitors, you cannot live without it once you have 2 monitors. And now that we're kind of isolated, you might want to buy a second monitor or a monitor to work with your laptop so that you can also work really efficiently, okay? So again, ask questions. I'm here for that. I cannot wait to help you. So we're going to start talking about the Gmail tips and tricks. So I just have a little bit of a presentation just so I remember to tell you stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go live to my Gmail account, a test account, and I'm going to show you a bunch of cool things. Fair enough? All right. Oh, we have someone from Oregon. That's awesome. Perfect. Okay. First off, actually, you guys that are here, I would like to know, are you using the free Gmail account, like a @Gmail account, or using a G Suite account? If you can just type in there that it's free or paid, just like to know where everyone's at as we go along, because there's some great things that, yeah, okay, so I think we got a little bit of a mix, but some people have G Suite, some people have the free Gmail. So if you followed me at all, you might want to, I have an actual full webinar on agenttechmastery.com, and you can go watch it at any time. And it really is about any free email account. So if it's, you know, your internet service provider like Shaw and TELUS in Canada, there's a Cox and AOL and other ones in the US. If you're using that as well, or if your friends that are agents are using that, please direct them to my website, agenttechmastery.com, because that is where I have a full webinar on why you shouldn't be doing that. Now with Gmail, it's a little bit different because, you know, there's some benefits with Gmail, but let's just talk about the free Gmail accounts, okay? And I think that a lot of agents don't think about it because you've been using it for so long and you think it's okay. But I just want you to think of it a little bit differently now, okay? Because look at these 3 email addresses. And I've seen everything under the sun with email addresses. So now, you know, and I know that you are probably one of the people that have your birth year in your email address. That is really, really, really bad. Now, one of the reasons for that is that if people are scamming, like they know one more thing about you. They know your first name, they usually know your last name, they now know the year of birth. So that is bad. But also, you know, if maybe someone's looking for a young agent and they see a different year, or a more seasoned and they see a young year, you know what, are you maybe losing business from it? It's possible. Does that make sense, you guys? And if you've ever seen me talk before on webinars, I love questions. So please feel free. Ray's gonna monitor. I'm gonna try and monitor it, but if I miss it, my assistant Ray, if you haven't met him, he's amazing. He will be jumping in and asking questions if I kind of miss out on stuff, okay? So the free also, you get spammed with advertising as well, so the free one, but really it's about being professional. And I really don't think it's very professional when you have a free email account. Now let's flip through this again as well. Another reason is that, who are you marketing for? Are you marketing for Gmail, or are you marketing for yourself? Does that make sense? So when you email me from @gmail.com, I don't know your website. Now, maybe it's in your signature, but as the very first thing I do is like, I think, oh, are they really a good business? Have they just started out? Because you're not branding yourself, all right? And it's really important. I can't really stress how important that is, all right? And then the other thing is the scalability. The scalability about, you know, let's say you want to hire an assistant, and you want the assistant to do stuff for you, share files, send emails. Do you want the assistant to be sending out stuff on your behalf with their personal free email account, which might be Yahoo or Shaw? Then they leave, it's not yours anymore, right? If you actually have a properly configured business account, then you own the data and you own theirs, okay? Let me just see.
Question from
Yeah.
Marty. Yep.
Sorry,
He
Ray.
says, we have a question from Marty.
Yep.
He says, I use yahoo.ca for my business email. Why do you not like it?
Oh boy, Marty, I'm going to just answer really briefly here, and I'd love for you to go to watch my I have a full 45, 50-minute webinar on issues with this, okay? Yahoo is not good. Again, same reason as at Gmail, at Shaw, at TELUS, at Yahoo, at Hotmail. I could talk for an hour just about why that's a problem. Gmail is better in one sense, which I'll talk about in a minute. Other systems won't integrate with CRMs. It won't integrate with any kind of third-party software when we're talking about integration of contacts and calendar properly. With Yahoo, again, depending on how old the Yahoo account is, it might be if it's downloaded separately. And again, watch the full webinar because I go into that in more detail about what's POP and IMAP and then what's a real server do that's different, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, scalability. Okay, so now let's just take a look at, I always like you to think instead of being an agent, if you had to hire a lawyer, right? Let's hope you don't, but let's say you had to hire a lawyer. Would you hire this guy or this girl? Right? Now, all things being equal, they're exactly the same. You like them both, and then that guy has the Joe the Best Lawyer 1973 at gmail.com. It doesn't seem professional. So I always think, like, do you know if you've lost business because of that? You don't know, and you'll never know, but you may have. Does that make sense? Joe's the best, clearly. See, you guys are funny. Okay, Joe is not the best. All right. I mean, you know that Jenny would be the one that you'd go, okay, I think I'm leaning towards Jenny because she's more put together with her business systems. Okay. So let's get started. Now I'm going to talk about, again, the free and cheap. I always loved Dolly. You'd be surprised how much it costs to look this cheap. People kind of migrate towards free emails, and not sometimes just because it's cheap and free, but sometimes it's just because that's what you used before you became an agent, right? And so you continued to use it, and now you're so far into it, you don't know how to switch. So I do, I'll give you a link at the bottom if you want me to do I do 30-minute calls with agents just to see if you're a good fit for me to even help you. So most of the time I can, but it just kind of depends on how long you've been, well, actually, the longer you've been messed up, the better, because you'll see a huge value. I've had agents who've been messed up for 30 years and nothing's talking to each other. And then you also add devices to this. This is another, do we have Apple users or Android users? Because this really is an issue as well. So throw in the comments, are you Apple or Android? Love to see, kind of just generally speaking, what people have. Both? Oh my goodness, you've got both. That's it. Oh, you probably have a Mac computer and Android device. Okay, Android, Apple. Okay, so for my Apple friends, Apple screws you up. Okay, even if you're using Gmail, the free Gmail account, or a paid Gmail account, and you have Apple. Apple, by default, all your stuff sits in Apple's iCloud, and then you can't figure out why you don't see the contact update on your Gmail account or your Yahoo or whatever you're using. Really, really, really messes. Do you know what I mean? And you Apple users, you're like, oh, that kind of makes sense now. You update your phone contact, and it doesn't update everywhere else. And that is a problem, okay? It's a huge problem because that's your gold. So now let me talk about, because I'm going to move forward, I'm going to just show you whether you're a free user or a paid user, the interface looks similar, okay? What happens when I'm always saying that you need to be more professional and have a proper business email, please don't just go set up any business email. What happens is people mess up and they don't do it properly. It's not properly configured. It might be on the wrong servers, the wrong configuration, and then you're in a worse off spot. So if I'll give you an option to book a session with me if you like at the end, and we can review everything that you've got, but just don't go do stuff that you're not completely sure of what you're doing. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to flip over here and I'm going to minimize this, and I am okay. I have a test account that I'm going to work with you and show you some cool features that I've written down here that were that you guys asked about. And so I'm first going to show you, because people don't believe me, how I manage my inbox. And so what's your inbox? If you tell me right now, if you think, how many emails do you have in your inbox? Everybody put in what you have. And then I'm going to show you some really cool ways of kind of fast ways to delete or archive stuff. Okay. What I've seen is, oh, Jeffrey, lovely, 25, nice. Yeah. So most of the people, oh, you guys, some of you guys are actually looking at your Gmail account. That's awesome. So what I see people doing is that they sometimes never organize their inbox. And so I have gotten 3 emails here. Let me just see. Oh, okay. There we are. This is my inbox. I have 14, and it's because I'm still working on these older emails. I have 14 emails, and everything is either deleted or moved to a folder structure, which I'll show you on my test account how we do that. Does that make sense? Okay. And really, normally it's even less than this, but I'm working on some stuff and I want to keep it in my inbox until I've dealt with it and moved it. Does that make sense, you guys? So I think that sometimes, and you'll see this test account, literally it's just a test account. So, but you can imagine how maybe stressful it is when you see up here 14,000 messages, right? You're like, because even though we know a lot of it's probably junk or stuff you've dealt with, but you didn't put it in the right spot, that, you know what I mean? Like, it just weighs on your mentality, okay? So I'm going to show you some really cool things. So one of the things is that Gmail, whether it's free or paid, looks similar. Now there's some cool features on the paid account, but the interface looks the same. Okay. So let me show you a few things about just really any software. Any software has the ability to make changes to what it does for you, how you view it. All right. So Outlook would have this, Macmail would have this, web browser would have this, Chrome would have this, Safari would have this. Does that make sense? So you can just change the view. That's all we're going to talk about, is how you can change the view. This is how, well, actually this is my demo account, so I don't know if it's all exactly how I like it. My other one has a nice background. This is the one I'm in all the time. I've got folders. This is my actual working folder structure. And so this is a little bit different, but I'm going to walk through what I would do if this was my Gmail account. The question we have is, when you move to a folder, does that free up space or not? Oh, no, it does not free up space. So that's another thing with the free account. Any free account, again, Yahoo, AOL, Shaw, TELUS, whatever free account that you have, there is a limited storage capacity. On business emails, there's not, well, there is, but you'll probably never reach that because it's so big. Okay, so that's another advantage, because if you're having to pay extra because you have a free account and you're running out of space, or what do you have to do? You have to keep going and deleting emails that you might need because you've run out of space. That's a really inefficient way to run your business. And I have to tell you guys that maybe I didn't mention in the other part is that for many, many years, why I know about how this all works is because I ran corporate email servers with 40,000 people on it, and how it integrated with, back in the day, Palm Pilots. Oh my gosh, those were horrible. I mean, they were good, but they're horrible to support. You could wipe out your database in like a button. It was horrible. And then BlackBerry, and then all the other ones after that. And so I completely, and how it works with Outlook and Macmail and web browser mail, and how you can muck things up really easily. And I've been doing it now for decades. Sadly, it's decades. All right. So my knowledge about how this stuff works is way better than your pal, the other agent, who says this is what you should be doing, because I actually really understand this stuff. There's never been a problem that I can't fix with email folders, email structure, Outlook, and Macmail. Okay. Let me just look. There's another question. How do you ultimately delete old working file? So you can, well, if you want to keep it, you shouldn't delete it. So again, that's another reason to be on a business platform, because it wouldn't matter. You're not having to delete stuff just because of space, right? Free is free, like everything free, you're using someone's free platform, right? Like this is the free one. This is again, it looks very similar to a paid platform as well. All right, so let's get through this. I'm gonna go and show you. So I'm inside email, right? And over here is a gear setting. And in the settings, This is where we can display density. So if I tap on here, it says, well, do I want default, comfortable, or compact? So see in the background how mine is the default. That's what I actually like, but let's go tap on compact and I'll show you what, I don't like that. It seems really busy to me, okay? But some people might, you might like that. So you would change it to compact. It's just a view. We're just flipping views, okay? So I'm gonna change it back to how I like. I'm gonna go display density and I'm just gonna go back to default. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to here, and this is another thing, configure inbox. So this is where, remember, you might have these tabs at the top. I hate those tabs. So I don't look at them, I turn them off. I only want my primary email, all right? And that's it, you just turn it on. If I kept social and had saved, the social icon, I believe it would pop back up. I might have changed it in another, let me just reload it. Come on. Yeah, now it's showing the social one, okay? So I don't like that, so I just go back, configure inbox, and undo social, okay? So I want everything in here. If I wanted to look at social, usually those other tabs are like advertising. If I wanted to look at it, I would scroll down here, and I can look at this, there's a social, I never look at these ones, but it's down here somewhere. Or I might have hidden it because I don't care. I'll show you where that is, okay? So you go into the gear again, and you go settings. You know the nice theme I have on my other one? This nice theme, this blue theme in the background, the water theme, that comes from here, sorting out themes. You can pick a bunch of different themes, or you can, I think you can upload your own picture as well. I'm not gonna get into that. That's really just the nice if you like that, okay? So themes. Let's go into the nitty gritty, the settings. Okay, I'm gonna go into settings of my email. Every part of Google, so if I go into I call that the Rubik's Cube. If I go to contacts and there's a gear icon, that's to do with contacts. If I go to Drive and the gear icon, that's to do with settings for Google Drive. If I go into calendar, that's the setting for calendar. Does that make sense? So that little gear icon or the little top left-hand dashes are the spots where you can make changes. On the left-hand side, if you don't see your folders, that's because you've tapped on here and made it smaller. I like to see my folders, so I just tap on the 3 lines at the top left. Let me just see, how do you get emails from supplier? How do you get emails from supplier emails to automatically go from your inbox to a labeled area? Oh, well, funny you should say that. I am going to talk about that. Okay, that is called filters. Thanks, Mary. All right. I am going to talk about that because there's so many awesome things. And I want you to remember, do we have any Outlook users and Mac users as well? Love to know. Just type in if you also use Outlook or Mac. Okay, yeah, a few people are using Outlook and Mac. So I want you to understand, really beneficial, you guys. Ray, if you can put the link on there to go watch my webinar, because I talk about how that might be messing you up. Now, if I can talk people out of using Macmail and Outlook, I try to do that because they're standalone systems that are only on that computer. When your computer goes, now you have to download it. You have to try, if you kept your PST file, if it wasn't lost, then you have to go get it and redo everything. And it really, really confuses people. If you go to the source, then there's nothing to do when you get a new computer. If you just use the web browser version of Google, there's nothing to do. You don't have to download software. You don't have to go find that PST file or Macmail. I can't remember what the file is for Macmail. You know what I mean? It's really, really, really less work for you in the long run. So but I also understand that some people love Macmail, some people love Outlook. Is trying to stop. And again, book a session with me and I actually help agents get off using Outlook and get off using Macmail, get all their different emails that they've had, because who really only has one email, except maybe for my clients out there, okay? That's it. You have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, the most I've seen, and honestly, 22 email addresses that some agent, like, how do you even manage 22 email addresses? It's so confusing, okay? Okay, so let me talk about a few settings that a lot of people miss in here. So now you can go and you can read all these, okay? So, can scroll down. Autocorrect, I like autocorrect on. I can't remember now on some of these whether the default is on and off. I know I've changed a lot because it's how I like to use Google, but this is where you want to go check. is autocorrect on? Is smart compose on? This is fairly new-ish, that it automatically completes your sentences, right? Little AI in there. We scroll down. This is the one here that messes people up. I don't know why by default this is not off, because I can't tell you, for years and years and years working with people, this drives people batty. So what this means is exactly what it says, sets whether emails of the same topic are grouped together. So let's just say you email me, I email you, you email me, we email back and forth like 10 times. They're all clumped together. So you're trying to find that, oh, what'd you say on that third email? You have to go, and it's really hard to figure out in that clumped group of emails where that email is that you know you want to, does that make sense? You know you want to find? People hate this. Now, this is the view here. If you're using the Gmail app, you have to change the view there. If you're using on devices, you have downloaded Spark or Outlook or one of the multitudes of other email platforms that you can view, right? Again, if you're confused, I go into it in way more detail in my masterclass webinar. Okay, but does that make sense? So for every viewer, Outlook, Macmail, Spark, Outlook for mobile, the settings, like these background settings, are in that application, in that desktop software. So you have to change each one. Now, sometimes for the Google people, if you're using Gmail up here and you're also using the Gmail app, usually the settings that you've done up here also will mimic on the app. But if you're having problems, like you're seeing clumped emails together, you want to check that, make sure on the app it also says conversation view off. Okay, no questions, you guys? You're all good. Okay. Smart reply, I have that on. Oh, that's the new one, smart reply. I like that one. Desktop notifications, whether you want to be notified when stuff happens. And then let me just go down here. Okay, this is me playing around with my signature. Okay, let's talk signature for now. You ready? Because I know a lot of people say, too bad, Darci, I'm not going to do what you say. But I'm going to tell you, again, I've done so many webinars about this in my membership with my agents. I tell them about how to do this. Do not put icons, images, and logos in your signature. And the reason is that you don't know, it always looks good to you as the sender, all right? Always looks good to you as the sender. I cannot stress that enough. It always looks good to you, the sender. It does not always look good to me, the receiver. Does that make sense? Because you don't know if I'm an Outlook user, a Macmail user, I'm looking at it on my phone, I'm looking at it, you don't know what I'm using. And I might have an email server that says, no, I'm going to strip these attachments and I'm going to add, or strip these icons and logos and images, and I'm going to add them as attachments. So think about this. So we have all these attachments, and then you and I email back and forth, and then you send me an important strata doc, financials or something. Now I've got your icon, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, and your logo and your image, and also the document I want. And if I'm not savvy enough, I have to tap on each thing to try and figure out that damn document that I want, because all your other stuff is attached. Does that make sense, you guys? Now, is there any questions about that?
Oh, we have a couple of questions from the previous topic, Darci.
Okay, let me go back. Sorry. I have several people when my closest just clump together. Answer acted like they didn't know what I was talking about. Now I know. Yay! Good. To not have clumps. View is off. Yeah, let me go back. Exactly. That was my word, clump together. Okay, I guess clump is good, right? Conversation view off. And just remember, it's a view. If you don't like it, turn it back on. They'll all be clumped together again. It's just a view, okay? Isn't that awesome? Okay, what did you do to put the desktop notifications on? Right here, desktop notifications. So I went to gear, settings, and I'm just under general. We got a lot of other things to do, okay? Does that make sense? You guys are good. You hate that, exactly. I think I've got all the questions.
Yep, all good.
Okay. Oh, if 50, 60,000 emails, if they're open, slow your computer down. Oh, that's a great question. So, oh, I love that question. So if you have, let's just say you have 60,000 emails, does it slow your computer down? This is a question for you guys. I want you to put on your thinking hats and tell me what you think the answer is. Let's say you've got 60,000 emails and you are using the web browser to view your emails. Or let's say you have 60,000 emails and you're using Outlook to view. Does one of them slow your computer down and one of them not? Hey, is that a trick question? Let's see. What do you think? Anyone brave enough to answer? Yeah. I love it when you guys answer, seriously. Okay. So web browser does not matter because you are not really using up a lot of resources to look at your email, right? It's sitting on a server up in the cloud. You're using cloud-based email. It's all up there. Outlook, different story. It is totally going to slow your computer down. That's why I help agents migrate all their stuff off of Outlook, off of MacMail, off of all their other darn emails that are what we call POP and IMAP onto a properly configured business email. So you update your phone, it updates your CRM, it updates your contacts in the web browser, and it is a beautiful thing. Every one email calendar, one email contacts, one email folder structure. So if I threw something in my inbox into a folder here, it goes onto the folder on my phone. It looks exactly the same on my tablet, right? Can you imagine? Like that kind of stuff is life-changing. I absolutely love it. Okay. Okay, so let's continue on. I got to make sure, what did I want to make sure I told you guys? I told you about signature. Okay.
Oh, Darcy. Oh,
What?
sorry to interrupt.
No.
We have a question from Mary. How do you get multiple stars to work?
How do you get what?
Multiple stars to work.
Multiple stars. Oh, I don't, you know what? I don't use this. So what a great thing is, and I always tell people, I mean, I can't know everything about everything. I'd like to, but what I'm really good about is figuring it out. So if I don't know what this is, the stars will rotate in order to show, okay, I don't know, whatever. If you want to know more about something like this, what I would do is I would say Gmail stars, what did they say? Hold on, let me go back here. What was it? I don't even know how to use stars because I don't use them. So Gmail stars, that's all I do. And then I go and try and figure out, somebody somewhere has asked the same thing. How to Geek is a great site. Of course, Google's own site, stars and email, they will tell you exactly what you want to do. And if it's color coding, I know some people use it all the time. I personally don't, because I organize my things in probably a different manner, but that might be something that you would use, right? Okay. Probably not the question or the answer you wanted. Okay, so that's the general part. Let me go back to my inbox because I had a question also about, you got 60,000 emails and you're gonna sit and manually, oh my goodness, your brain's gonna explode, right? If you had to manually get rid of stuff that you don't want. So I'm gonna show you a way to kind of go through your emails easy, okay? So let me just, this is somebody I signed up for. Let's say I don't want Maria, whoever that is, okay? Maria. So I would type Maria up here in the search. I would tap up here and say select all, and then I would do what I want. What do I want to do with this? Do I want to move it to a folder, label, category? We'll talk about that in a second. Or do I want to archive it, or do I want to delete it? Okay, so, and I'm going to talk about that. So what is archive and delete? Archive means it keeps it, but it's archived. It's not in your inbox anymore. And delete means it's in the trash that with Google, it will go away after 30 days. Okay, so there is a difference between archiving and deleting, and you have to understand what you want to do, right? So let's just say, I want, just so I can show you how to move, let's say I really want to keep this, but I want it out of my inbox. Now, the left-hand side, you see these are, Google calls them labels. And I find that people get a bit confused about this. So I in my head, I like to call them folders or categories. It's kind of like a folder structure. So in here, even though, again, Google calls it labels. So right now, this Maria is in my inbox label, right? And nowhere else. If I wanted this to create a label, I go over to label or a folder. I'm going to do a new one. I'm going to create a new one. Now, this is where you can decide, do you want it to be at the root, at the top of your inbox, or see over here to the left, I have clients and Fred. So let's say Maria was a client. I would go nest under clients and I would call Maria. Okay, and I would say create. And here's where, this is what most people don't understand. You ready? Right now, Maria is in my inbox and she's also over here in my Maria folder. I like to call it folders, but you replace that with label if you like labels, okay? So I don't want that. I don't want her in my inbox anymore because I want to clean up my inbox. So what do? When you say archive, that just means take it out of the inbox and keep it in the folder that I gave it. So I'm going to archive it. See, inbox is gone. Still sits in this folder that I have here. Isn't that cool? So that's a really fast way. So now if I go back to my inbox, she is gone. Isn't that, like, lots of people don't know that. And this is such a cool thing to do. So you might have, if you've been using this platform for a long time. Now I don't have anything specific, but I'm just trying to think, like Facebook, if you get notified by email about Facebook, I don't think I have anything, but I might. Let's just see. Facebook. Oh, that's not really what I like. Okay, so, but actual from Facebook. And so what I would do is I would look up, I think it's Facebook, I would look up the email that comes from Facebook. I think it's called notifications@facebook.com or something like that. And then I would put that in here, and then it would show all the Facebook messages, and it would probably show pages and pages of Facebook messages. And I would go like this, and then over, I'm not going to do this. Well, actually, this is but I want to show you more stuff, but all the messages on this page. Or do you want all 179 messages in your inbox? So if you're filtering based on an email, it might say, or do you want the 2,000 emails from Facebook? If you know what you're doing, okay, I have to preface everything that you know what you're doing, then you would say archive or delete or whatever you want to do with those messages. That makes sense? Okay, let me just see. What simple CRM integrates seamlessly with your Gmail? So I would like you to watch the webinar and then book a call with me. I always like people to watch the webinar and then book a call so you really understand the implications of CRM. So I actually have on my Facebook group, Ray, did we put the link? I think you did. In my Facebook group that is just for agents, I recently did in your agent groups, I see all day long, what CRM should I use? And I cringe when people are answering because they're answering based on their knowledge and they don't understand. So I did a short little video, and if PM me if you want to know, and we can send you the link to the actual video, but it is so important to understand why you want a CRM that integrates properly with your business email, right? There's only a very few that I would ever say, okay, keep your personal Gmail. And I already went through why, but your business email, that when I update my contact, the CRM contact updates too. It should not be a separate database ever. Because now you're managing, so you meet Joe at the store and Joe says, oh, you know what, I have a new phone number, and you update your phone. Are you gonna remember 4 hours later when you get home to go update the CRM too? It should be integrated. Okay, that's really important. Let me just see other questions. Oh, where does it go when you archive it? It just goes in like we can search for things. It actually goes in here. Let me just see if I can see it in this all mail. So it just sits in this all mail category. So you can go search for things. One of the great things about Google, and I don't know, some people have said, this is when I think they don't really know what they're doing when people say, oh, I hate Gmail, search is horrible. Gmail has the best search on the planet. Honest to goodness, it is way better. Try searching on Outlook, try searching on Mac Mail, and then try searching on Google. So let me just go, I'm gonna go find some email. Let me just, Money Show. Let's say I remember I'm looking for Money Show. If I type Money Show, There's my email that I was looking for. Okay, like anything that had the word money show shows up. Anything that has a word in it shows up. Do you see the value in this? Like it is an unbelievable search function. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Let me just see how, okay, we got clumping. Oh, templated responses. Oh, I gotta show you this. I'm gonna go to settings again. Okay, you can rewatch this later. I'm gonna go to, oh, Google change, I think it's an advanced. Yes, advanced, okay. So I'm gonna do this again, because this is really important. I'm gonna go settings, brings up this, we're gonna go to advanced, and then I'm gonna enable templates. For some weird reason, or it's already enabled because I play with it. For some reason it's disabled to start, I don't know why, but you wanna enable it. Now I'm gonna show you the value of this, okay? Actually, I'm gonna do it on mine because I actually have some working ones. So I'm gonna compose an email. Okay, and I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna go to templates. You will not see this unless it's enabled. And I've created a bunch of templates. So let's say I'm sending StrataDocs to an agent. I would tap on this and it says, hi, agent name. Haha, hi, Joe. Here's the Strata link for the StrataDocs. I use Google Drive, but you can download them, blah, blah, blah. Click on the download at the top right, and you can also send the link to your clients. If you say the same thing over and over, why not create a template for it? Does that make sense? So how do you create a template? Okay, cool, let me show you. You go like here, you open up an email, you go to the three dots at the bottom, you go to templates. Oh, actually, let me do a template. This is test template, okay? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then you go here and you go template and you go save draft template, save as new template. I'm going to call test to template. I'm going to save it. Now it's done. So I can close this. I'm going to go compose. And then I just want to go use that template. I tap on the three dots. I go to templates. I go test to template, and all that stuff I just typed is there. Is that not cool? It's super cool. I love templates. Okay, questions? We're doing good? Okay, let me just see what else. Labels, we talked about labels. Oh, another thing that lots of people don't know. I'm gonna go back to my account here. Let's go over here. Let's say I want to respond to this person, okay? So I'm gonna go reply. And I blah, 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 blah. A lot of people don't know that you can edit the subject in Gmail. So you tap in here, you say edit subject, and then I can change the subject. Lots of people have no idea about that. Because lots of times I want to edit the subject, like please respond or whatever, right? Urgent. Does that make sense? Yeah, somebody's loving it. Nice. You don't see that option. Which option, Helen? Which option don't you see? Because I am in this is a basic Gmail account. There's nothing fancy. Whatever you use, whatever yours is, you would have exactly the same. I don't know what you're talking about, you guys. What don't you see? Let me know. Though the template, yeah, you have to turn it on first. You might have missed that part. Let me show you. You go settings, or sorry, gear, settings. Then you go over to advanced. And then you have to enable this template. If yours is disabled, you will not see the template option, okay? Okay, if it's on, then you go compose, three dots, and you'll see the template here. To create templates or use templates, okay? Oh, you have to save it if you create it. You got it. Ah, okay, cool. Okay, this is so awesome. Let me just see what else. Oh yeah, okay, the other thing I want to talk to you, how are we doing for time? Pretty darn good. Show how to modify the subject again? No problem, I can do that. Let me go back into an email. I am gonna just open up Shutterfly. Aw, Terry and I got married 9 years ago. Okay, so let's say I was gonna reply back to Shutterfly. And I go reply, but I wanted to change the subject. You see the little down arrow? I just tap on here and I say edit subject. And then it's blue. I just go type whatever I want, okay? Isn't that cool? Gold star me. Nice. Okay. All right. So let me just look at that. I want to talk about filtering messages. Let's say, let me just see what, let's just see. I'm trying to find emails that I have lots of that I don't really care about. And this is oh dear, let's see. Really, you can filter any email. So that means if an email comes in, I'm going to show you actually in mine. Okay, settings, gear settings, because I have a lot of filters, and I'll just show you what it means. So basically, all these filters are stuff that a lot of them I want to forward to my assistant so he can look at it. That's admin@darcitalks.com. I delete it and it goes to him. Some things like in our membership, we have an email that comes from notifications@kartra.com. I want it to go to see this over here? I have a folder called @support tickets. And then I want it to move it to here. So get out of my inbox and I want to forward it to my assistant. Is that not cool? So I want you to think about this. Do you know why I put the @ symbol here? Anybody? Or over here, there's an exclamation mark. Anyone hazard a guess? Yeah, these are called rules or filters. Thank you. Different platforms call this, doing this is, rules is an Outlook term. Filters is a Google term. It's the same thing. Okay, great question. I was just going to ask about that. Okay, so let me explain why I have the @ symbols and the exclamation mark. How it works on any folder structure, whether we're talking about a folder structure on your physical computer, like a folder. Let me just grab this and I'll show you what I mean. Come on. Oh, it's on my other screen. Hold on. I got two monitors. It's on the other screen. So whether we're talking about a folder structure that sits like this, so it goes A, B, C, D, right? It's in alphabetical order. But when you put a exclamation or a symbol or a number first, it's symbols first, numbers, then alphabet. So if you want something to always appear at the top, you would put an exclamation or a number. So, and that's the same as in here. If you want something, on mine, if you want something to appear at the top of your list, you put an asterisk or any kind of symbol, actually. So symbols, numbers, letters. Make sense? Are you good? Okay, let me just see. I got to pull up the chat again. I got to see where we are. Okay, so let me just show you again. We're still talking filtering rules, and I'll just show you how. I'm going to do it on here, actually. On this one, let's say I want anything to Cirque du Soleil to go into a folder called Cirque du Soleil. Okay, so let me create. I'll create the folder first. So I can create a folder down here. Labels. Remember, Google calls them labels. I'm so used to saying folders, and that's how I think. So here's all my labels, and this is where you can show, and I don't like all the starred and snoozed and all these other things. So I actually hide a lot of general labels in Google. So this is, again, it's personal preference. I hide all these labels. I don't want to see them. I don't care about them. But labels I created, I want to see them. That makes sense? So I'm going to create a new label here. And again, it's going to say, well, do you want it nested under the inbox or you just want a new one? I think it was Cirque. So I'm just going to put it at the root. Watch, but I want it up front. So what do, you guys? I can do @Cirque. I spell Cirque right? I think I did. Okay, otherwise it would have been under here, right? Because it would have been in alphabetical order. Okay. Oh yeah, wasn't sure how long this went. Yeah, it's an hour, Jill, and I'm recording this in my Facebook group. And Ray, if you can put the Facebook group there again, thank you. You can tap on that link. And Ray, can you just put the link, not the whole words? And yep, and then hopefully it's recording okay in there. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the inbox. Okay, and I'm gonna take that Cirque email and I'm gonna open it. And I'm gonna say, you know what? I want to always put any Cirque email into the Cirque folder. So I go up here and I say filter messages like this. So it says, okay, it has, now see, this one's weird because it's coming from a newsletter type service. So it actually doesn't show this properly. So you want to be aware. This is actually a good example, I guess. Let's look at this again. I just want to see how it always contact Cirque du Soleil. It's funny how that didn't come up. I don't know why. Where are we here? We want to, oh my goodness, where'd the filters go? Really? Let me go back. Hold on. I see what just happened there because I actually found all Cirque. So see how it's contact@email.cirquedusoleil.com. Tap in here. We're going to say filter messages like this. This is a good one because it's confusing and it doesn't show. Usually it would just populate the email address. For some reason it didn't, so I'm going to copy it. So anything that comes from contact@email Cirque du Soleil, what do I want to do with it? Well, I want to create a filter. So you can do it based on subject, a word, you can do a bunch of things, okay? Now it says, well, what do you want to do with it? Well, I want to apply a label, and I created the label. I could have done it in here to create the label, but I did it prior. Again, 601, right? @Cirque. And what else do I want to do with it? I want it to skip my inbox, apply it to here, and create the filter, okay? So now when we go to Cirque, oh, you know what? Actually, it's not going to run it. It's any future one. So if I want to move the rest, this is an easier way to do it. Cirque. Is that how you spell Cirque? What did I do? Oh my goodness. So here's all the Cirque ones. Okay, let's just say this is a temp, not a real email account that I use, so it doesn't matter. So let's just say I want to move these, and then anything moving forward that comes from that one email address, it will go to that folder. But I want to move these. I go label, Cirque, apply, archive, get it out of my inbox. Now when we go to Cirque, it's going to move all those ones in there and out of my inbox. How cool is that? Okay. Any questions? Any questions? No? Because that covered all the things that I had written down. Oh, one other thing. Sorry, I had one other thing I wanted to talk about is sometimes people, let me just show you, it is checking tools, apps. I'm going to put this in the, to everybody, just a sec, everyone in the meeting. I'm going to go like this. Okay. So when you do my account, you have to be logged on. This is my test account, right? You have to be logged on. This is one test account. And if you go myaccount.google.com, it goes and looks at the apps with access to your account. So this is really important if you're having issues or you've just been granting access to a bunch of different apps. So I know that this user, Betty Darci Test at gmail.com, has given Zoom access to the calendar and has given Chrome access to the Google account. No worries, but yours will probably have like 20, 30, 40, you should go through. And if you don't know, like let's say you don't know what Zoom is, you tap on here and it actually always will tell you who the vendor is. And if you don't remember, like this, maybe you don't know what Zoom is, you just copy this hyperlink, the website, go and look at what Zoom is. Now it's this software that I use, so we know that that's okay, okay? But if you've been willy-nilly giving people access or apps access to your account, that might not be good, right? So you want to check that out, all right? Also, if you are interested, you can also put in the chat if you want us to email you a link to watch the webinar or my full webinar on if you're using personal emails and if you're using Outlook and Macmail, if you're not using a CRM or you're paying for a CRM or your CRM is not integrated. Here's the thing that we know. And we know that if you are not using a CRM that's properly integrated, you're wasting a ton of time. And if you're not setting up drip campaigns, you're not keeping in touch with your clients, you can be losing hundreds of thousands of dollars because people aren't remembering you. And it is all about proper setup of a proper business email, proper moving of all those other accounts that you have, and then only then integrating it properly with a properly configured CRM. Okay, like it's magical when that stuff happens. How you doing? Any questions?
Oh, we have a couple of questions, Darcy.
Yes.
Yeah. From Danielle, when you archive it, it keeps the email for 30 days and then deletes it. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. That's a good question. So let's just go and say you didn't know the answer to that. How long? That isn't correct. Deleting only keeps it. I actually think it might be 29 days because Google changed something, but we don't know. Let's just say, how long does Gmail keep well, emails would be good, but let's say we're looking up specifically archiving emails. It should be forever. Like there's no, because archiving just means it's in your Gmail account. Deleting means you don't want it. Trash. So messages in archive is, yeah, you can always be searched exactly in 30 days. Now, this is when I'm being resourceful and trying to look up information, I always kind of look at the source. And especially this day and age, when we're with COVID, you'd like, people are posting stuff and it's like, is it really true? Like, no. So who's the best source when we're looking at this? Is it the New York Times? Is it small business? Or is it Google? Right? Well, probably Google, right? Does that make sense? Because I don't know, like, and this might be old, like this is from 2018. Gmail's probably changed something since then, right? Like, I think you really have to be resourceful. And also, my own opinion about social media nowadays and people posting stuff. I know we had one of the popular agents was posting that, Trump has opened up the beaches in Florida and there's like 800 people there. And like, I don't really buy that. So I went and looked up a webcam of the Florida beach and there was like 3 people on there. So you can't trust news. Like, so I'd be really careful about how old this is when you're doing searching and that it's current and better to come from the source. All right. Does that make sense? All right. What else?
We have a couple of questions from Dale from Facebook. When you do tags for many emails, how do you remove the inbox flag on mass emails? What is archive?
I think you have to say that to me again. Hold on. Hold on. That account, just a sec. Oh, no, not that account. Not that account. I want to go to this one. Come on. Come on. Oh, gosh, what is going on? This is so slow. There we go. Slow. Okay, can you read that to me again?
Yeah, the question is, when you do tags for many emails, how do you remove the inbox flag on mass emails? And what is archive?
I'm still confused about tags. Do you mean labels? Maybe, you know what?
Probably.
Whoever asked that question, do you want to unmic yourself and ask me?
Oh, he's on Facebook, Darcy. So.
Oh, so I'm not sure exactly what he means, but I think let me guess. So let's just say we go. I'm just going to grab whatever. I don't really care. I'm just going to grab and label these as a circ. Okay, we're going to put that circ. These are in my inbox, and they're also circ. So now, right? And so if I want to get them out of my inbox and only into the label, I just say archive. Okay, so now they're out of my inbox and they're now in the circ folder. Okay. But if I remove, let's say I removed all these and I'm like, oh, I don't care about circ. And I go up to the labels, I remove the circ, right? Apply, and I say delete. I can delete all those. Now they're back in archive actually. Okay, they're not deleted. I should have deleted them. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, other questions? I've kind of lost where we are in all the questions. I'm gonna put on my own video and Ray, just so I can look at you guys. Hi. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, for Sarah, how do you get to the apps with access again?
Oh yeah, so the link is in the, actually we'll put it on the Facebook group so then you can actually click on the link. Ray, if we can remember, we'll put all these links in the recording that is in the Facebook group. So make sure that you come and join our Facebook group and then we're good, okay? Other question?
What's the best practice for getting rid of junk mail in Gmail?
Well, junk mail in theory should be going to your junk mail folder, and then every once in a while, actually, I'm so much more used to using my own. Let me just look at here. more, where's junk? Spam. So every once in a while, I'll just empty spam, but it's automatically deleted after 30 days. Okay. And you guys, anybody who's using, I want to let you know about role-based emails. So role-based email, if you have a business email that is like info at, I see a ton of agents using info at. That is something we call role-based email. So if you want to know what's that mean, we go role-based email, why you shouldn't use. So role-based email, again, I'm looking at who's talking here. Well, MailChimp is a good authority about role-based email. I've done lots of things, but these are role-based email. I don't know why they don't have info in this one, actually. That doesn't make sense. But info is also a very common role-based email that automatically you can't sign up for newsletters. It'll may automatically go to spam because it's not considered a person's actual email address. So please don't use info at if you're in your business. Okay. Did that answer the question or did I get sidetracked? What was the question? Did I answer it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the
Okay,
practice for getting rid of junk. Yeah.
Good. Okay. And any other
I have
questions?
another one. When you archive something, that email goes into all mail. If it
That's right.
also goes into another folder, does it take up twice the space then?
No, because it isn't a folder in Gmail land. It is a label. So I can have 10 labels and it's really just one email sitting there with labels on it. To us, it's like folders, but it isn't going to 10 different spots. Great question.
All right. We have another one from Jackie. What CRMs integrate with Gmail?
Okay, so I highly recommend that you go watch my webinar where I kind of talk about that, or you set up a 30-minute chat with me because it's more detailed than that. What I see agents doing is they don't set up all the stuff correctly, and then they also pay for a CRM and they're only managing their contacts, and it's not integrated properly, and it's not talking to anything else, and so they waste a ton of time. And then they're also not setting up drip campaigns, which is the gold. That is gold. And I know, like Mary, you know, like I got one of my members here about how it's unbelievable when you start using things. You will start making money, repeat and referral business, because your clients will start keeping in touch with you. Like you have to have a CRM, but your business has to be set up properly in order for the CRM to work. Okay. I really, really, really please watch the webinar that I talk about all the pitfalls and why these things happen, and then book a call or just book a call. We'll have all the links in the Facebook group. So join our Facebook group. More questions?
Yeah, we have a lot. This group is active. So this is somehow related to Gmail, Darci. Is Folio worth it? It seems confusing to me, specifically. I'm a realtor. Or Streak is that?
Yep, that's a great question. And so if you only use the web-based version of Gmail, Folio is fantastic. So if you don't know what Folio is, I don't want to get into it, but it's a great tool for agents about keeping track of your listings and automatically, actually, you probably saw my Folio because I was testing it. So it actually will just put emails, anything. I probably deleted all these. Yeah, I probably have. So it recognizes what's going on. You can share stuff with mortgage brokers and lawyers, and you can put timelines on things. So the answer is yes, only if you're using, it doesn't work if you're using Outlook or Mac Mail, but if you're using just the web-based, absolutely. Okay.
Great. From Terry, if you ever discontinue G Suite, do you use all your email history?
No, because you can migrate things back. You should be able to migrate things back. It's a good question. No, you shouldn't. You should be able to migrate things back or export your info.
All right. Another one from Jill. Can you switch from Office 365 and not lose info?
You can if you work with me. How's that for an answer? That's what I do all day long. Yep. The answer is yes.
All right. If you delete the folder or label, what happens to the emails that were there?
Delete the folder. Oh, it just goes into all mail. It just goes into kind of the archive spot. Okay. Yep. Good question.
Okay. From Rhonda, what are the most common problems that direct realtor emails to spam?
Role-based email addresses. sometimes subjects, but Shaw, Tellus, any of those ones are known problems as well. So you want to also, when you talk to your clients, you always want to say, and actually, if it's a properly configured business email, there's methods that you can use to be known, not because it's an actual business paid, and it's more likely to end up in someone's inbox than a Joe the best realtor at 1973 at gmail.com, because you know what I mean? It's not, there's not anything you can do, and it might end up in spam. And if you continue to use a free email account, I would always suggest that you tell your clients if they don't get the email to check spam. But I also think if you're running a business like a business, change it, make it look like a business. Okay.
Right. Well, Mary is just sharing her success. She says 2 prospects contacted this morning within 30 minutes of sending a first drip letter.
Okay, this is why I love what I do. You guys that are still here. So Mary is running through my it's now a 7-week program for agents to fix all this stuff. And in week 5, I think it is, that we get them to send out emails to past clients, and we give the script, and there's also drip campaigns. So she literally got 2 prospects from this process. Like, CRMs work when they're properly configured and you work the program. Can you see, like, you guys are doing yourself a disservice to not having your system set up and not using a CRM if you're not using one. Managing your contacts is not using a CRM. Okay. Thank you, Mary. You're the best. Thank you. Any other questions? We're a little bit over.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 more.
Okay, 2 more. That's it. Just one sec. Please go to the Facebook group and ask the questions. I'll happily answer later. I just don't, we're a little bit over, so we'll do the last 2. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah. If you're not using a CRM, what is the best way to enter that field?
Why are you not using a CRM? Sorry, I think I just answered that. You are losing business if you are not using a CRM. So the answer is you should be using a CRM. Okay. And if you're not, talk to me.
Last one. If someone is running out of storage space in their Gmail account, what do you suggest the person do?
I suggest you set up a properly configured business email that has a ton of storage that you will not have that problem. Okay. So that kind of ends the thing. It really, do you see that all the issues that you're having is because your systems aren't set up properly? Now, Gmail is Gmail, whether you're using a business, this is my, see, Darci at Darci Talks, that's my business one. These are my test ones. They look similar, right? But there's an advantage. There's a lot of advantages to having a properly configured business email. And again, Ray, we're going to put in the Facebook group. He's put in the links here. We'll follow up with you guys as well and give all the links as well. But thank you so much for showing up on this very impromptu Gmail tips and tricks. And let me just, hold on. Let me just whip this up here because we have another webinar. Let me just get up this part here. We have another webinar that all I want to do is help you guys. What is the date? Just a sec. That's the 30-minute call. Again, we're going to put links. Ray already did that. If you want me to look at your systems, you got to watch a short video or watch the full webinar. We have a Q&A session on April 30th. Ray's going to put the link in there as well on both spots. What I decided, there's lots of agents asking questions about Zoom or about Gmail or about CRMs or about signatures or about whatever. And so it's just going to be kind of an informal Q&A. You ask questions, we will all talk together and see what the best answer is. So register for that one. We'll send an email out about that as well. And otherwise, I hope you guys are staying safe out there. It's been my pleasure to help you out today, and have a fantastic day. All right. Talk to you later. Okay, I'm signing out. Bye.